Hi, I'm Red Rose, and this is my husband, James.
I think we were very similar in a lot of ways.
He didn't annoy me like everybody else does, and I could tolerate him long term. To do a lot of self-reflection, that's when I realized what it truly was that I loved about it. I truly love doing a lot of it sometimes.
It was just the two of them being in, like she put on a good.
I'm totally in my element, I'm good to go, and everything else around me disappears. It's great to just be completely and get. It's a win-win for everybody. And you are watching.
All right, just pulling up.
Shoot. Super excited, kind of nervous, as you can see. A lot of loss for words, literally. But can't wait to see what it's all about. Watch at a time.
Yes, very excited to be here. We're here? Perfect. Here we go. Here's the sign at the studio. Do a little pan. Come with me, stay with me. There's the bed, couch. That's where all the fun happens. Oh, you look so good, baby.
Hey, wow, this is gorgeous.
I got enough, baby. I got enough, baby. Oh.
What's good? It's Hollywood Cash. Just got here to the studios today. I'm in for a treat. Guess who I'm working with? We got Red Rose, her husband James. Coming on right now. It's about to get serious.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Nice to finally meet you.
Really welcome to Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
I'm very impressed with what I see.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your work too. I'm pretty excited.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try to go beyond what you've already seen.
Yeah. Hot.
Perfect. You ready, baby?
Mm-hmm. We are from Maryland. He slid in to my DMs on Snapchat. We lived in the same town and just happened to be friends somehow, and guess it was fate and the rest is history. Been married for 8 years now, yeah.
I think we were very similar in a lot of ways, and it just seemed like a very natural progression for us.
He didn't annoy me like everybody else does, and I could tolerate him long term.
We had both experimented separately before we met each other, and then it was kind of exclusively the two of us for a while, and then we opened up to
I didn't have the most experience, I would say, prior. He definitely opened me up to an entire new world that now I am in love with.
So I was introduced with a previous who was already involved when we met, and when we split, I continued on as for a while, and it just kind of became normal to me. I just seemed to take to it very nicely. So
when we were more casually dating, I went to college and I was a bit of a rebel and had my fun. I would tell him stories because I had a lot of them. and he loved hearing them. And so that's kind of how it got introduced into our relationship. He introduced me to the official side and like lifestyle side of things. I was definitely a club girl. I went to a lot of clubs, and I would always send him snaps and pictures of everything, and he would kind of see it from afar, and then I would go back and tell him specific stories of things, of what happened that night.
I was very into it. Like I said, it was kind of her past, but also like happening parallel with our relationship. Like she said, we'd kind of met right when she was starting into college, and we were dating, casually. But like I said, I knew she was in college and I was kind of doing my own thing. Like I said, it was very, very attractive to meet a like-minded individual who was willing to kind of just let and be your own person,
I think it's really unique relationship start that we had, very unconventional, but that's just kind of the story of our lives. We knew that we wanted to be with each other, but we also knew that we needed to have the freedom to be able to explore our own identities and just have fun and let, and ultimately it brought us closer together.
So I knew that she was going off to a school, and I knew, the typical college experience, and I definitely didn't want to get in the way of that.
He wanted to hear every detail. It was definitely not what I was used to, but it was nice to be able to be 100% honest, and that's something that's pretty hard to find sometimes. So it was nice.
I was already involved in the before, so I was able to check off quite a few things off the bucket list. But it was very fun watching her kind of come into her own self and such. So our first official as a couple, we had visited a club. We were on the dance floor just dancing and having a good time. She took interest in somebody. She asked if it would be all right to pursue. And after dancing and carrying on for a little while, we moved it to one of the rooms, and I enjoyed watching her do her thing. At that time, it was just a one-on-one experience. We were in the common room, so there was other people watching, but it was just the two of them being in. Like, she put on a good show. I think everybody enjoyed it. I think she enjoyed it.
It was definitely very nerve-wracking at first, but once I get into that element of doing what I know how to do with I'm good. How it has helped our relationship. While he did have that experience prior to me, I completely grew into it, and I think it's really helped me to be able to express myself in a different manner than I was taught how to. The lifestyle has really made me more comfortable with myself as well, and very, very secure in our relationship. Just being able to be completely open and be myself on and off camera, in and out of, and just having that security, knowing that he is there at the end of the day, and he's my man. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
We just kind of, as she said, push the boundaries a little bit more, realize we both enjoyed it. What I love most about it is the sense of openness we have in our relationship that comes with this. I mean, there's definitely a closeness in this. There's a lot of communicating, a lot of hard truths, a lot of dealing with a lot of feelings. So I think the sense of connection that you get from kind of processing those things is honestly my favorite part of her and our relationship. Feelings of jealousy and insecurity are natural. I think they wax and wane, but ultimately, there's this sense of security that she's not going anywhere, I'm not going anywhere, we're both having a really good time. So they typically don't stick around or sting very hard.
I was very jealous at first. Again, with how I was raised, and just with the people who taught me about what a relationship was growing up, it was not anywhere close to what it is now. I still am very possessive, I would say, of my man, but I do like seeing his dynamic with others too.
The conversations of jealousy, they can be hard. Of course, nobody likes to come to somebody and say, hey, I know we agreed to do this and we did this, but now I feel this about it. As you talk through those things, it kind of come out on the other side. a lot closer than you were before. And if something, she doesn't like, I don't like, we come back, we talk to it. Yes, they're typically hard, awkward conversations, but once you get through them, there's a much better sense of closeness on the other side of them. For me, the most surprising thing was just how quick she took to it. And I could almost see the switch of like, hey, like I've kind of been masking this side of myself for a long time, and now I'm free to kind of let that go.
The most surprising thing about joining the learning the ins and outs is learning how much I truly like to push my boundaries in a fun way. I like to try everything at least once, and he's on board with it too, so it works out great. But I didn't realize how much I truly loved doing a lot of it sometimes, for lack of better words. The feeling of just being, I love not thinking. It's great to just be completely and get, and for the others, myself and him. I had to do a lot of self-reflection, and that's when I realized what it truly was that I loved about it. We both have regular jobs and we have a family. So in that moment where I am able to just be and just give it up, I do completely switch my brain off. It's probably one of my most comfortable times. Ironically enough, can be a rather awkward person in person. Once I'm on and I know what I'm doing, and there's a massive behind me that I know is about to into me, I'm totally in my element. I'm good to go. And when that's another man's and my man's, it's a win-win for everybody.
I know it sounds corny, but it's more about the feelings that come with it, the closeness that comes with it, like, her willingness to pretty much whatever I want. Not that I do anything too crazy, but just that feeling of like the willingness that like, here, I'm willing to give my body to you just as I am. I'm willing to give my body to her. When it's the two of us, anything's on the table.
The physical aspect, it's great at first, and it's great with everybody else. Obviously, it's why we do a lot of it. But specifically with James, it's just a lot of emotion, and I could be having a super bad day and we come together and just have a super and yeah, it's just different.
She liked being on camera and I liked filming, and then from there realized we could start making money for it. And now we end up here. It's not work if you're having fun, right? If you're good at it, you might as well make money doing it.
We started filming content. Actually, someone else that we had met at one of the clubs did just like a little bit of it, just kind of dabbled in it. More so filming for their partner, actually, because their partner was not present. And so that's how they shared their stories. We thought it was an interesting dynamic that they had, that their partner was not present. And so then we started filming things just so he could then look back on it. And then, of course, within the community, everybody talks and figured out that there's a little niche of a market for it. And we just started posting our fun experiences in their raw form, and it's kind of just evolved from there. My Queen of tattoo, it's a universal symbol for the that I am open to. Primarily, I would say for sure that's specifically what the Queen is started with. A nice, just massive, and that's what makes me happy. And that's how I let people know, like, hey, I came to the discovery that I was a side, basically, because the guys, no offense to them, of course, but like the guys just didn't give me a lot of that I wanted. I like pushing myself. I like pushing my boundaries. I like doing things and that some others might not be able to. And that's what I fell in love with. I just like being absolutely as possible. And most frequently, the bigger the better. One of the best experiences we've had was more recently, actually. It was me pushing my boundaries and pushing myself to see what I can truly do and handle and how I liked it. But I had my biggest that I've done. It was 15. I love, and so that was another thing of the is everyone had two, and so that was another part of a record-breaking moment for me. And then I had another record of, and first actually, of double, which is, I mean, completely different than even just a massive. It's, yeah,
Two of them.
it's just being, it's a different feeling of being. So that was a really awesome experience because, I mean, he got to watch the entire thing. And then afterwards, obviously, I was a bit worn out, but we were able to come back and have one of the most intimate I think that we've had in a very, very long time between each other and just reconnect. And I go from feeling like I just want to be a human for these people to feeling like an actual like human with him and loved and seen and valued. Our aftercare is so important. I think that's truly what makes our relationship as opposed to just another experience with any other, very emotionless to a certain extent. I would say that I know I like the mindless just actions of everything, and pretty much the same for him, just decompressing from our everyday lives. And so then afterwards, when we're able to come back together and have those super and do things with each other that we don't do with others, and he just kind of me after a big shoot and just starts loving me. It's really special, and that's truly what makes our relationship solid and secure in this and truly a loving marriage.
Mm-hmm. We're pretty active in the club scene in our area, so we make a lot of connections through that way. I think it's always a little better when it's people we're familiar with, like I said, from the club scene, because then there's this, a sense of like familiarity, which makes it a lot easier to really live. So that's where a lot of them come from.
I am a bit more technology advanced than he is, and so I have introduced him to a few apps that we have found good people on. And it's funny how small of a community and very tight knit of a community it is. So I think word of mouth is also another big part. I mean, we'll find someone local in our area and then they happen to know 3 other people who end up becoming regular buddies for us.
We have personality. So like there'll be people that even come up to us and they'll be like, oh, you're, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah. And then that usually sparks interest in them. And generally it's pretty easy for us to make scenes happen and stuff like that.
I think it's important for people to see real couples because as I mentioned earlier, that this is not how I was raised, and that's not like in a bad way. It's just, I would say it's not talked about. It's more of like a taboo, quote unquote, topic. I think we have an understanding of what relationships are supposed to be like that, especially like I personally was raised as, and sometimes that doesn't work. And I think for others to be able to see real couples having healthy relationships and still doing all the fun, I think it's really important because it is possible. They don't have to be mutually exclusive ideas.
I think people come onto these maybe with like a sense of exploration and, I think seeing that people are okay with it, it's not as taboo as you might believe, will then give them a sense of like safety to go ahead and explore, if that makes sense.
There's not really one thing that I can narrow down specifically about this experience. It is something that as we've done content more and my platform's kind of grown bigger, I've definitely been curious about this side of things. And I mean, we've also watched quite a bit. So being able to see like the behind the scenes stuff was pretty awesome.
Well, we have the amazing Hollywood ready to meet you, waiting in the wings. Are you ready to share your experience with the world?
Absolutely, we are ready.